What's up, Tububians? It's your boy Tiny. Yeah, people actually call me that, and they think it's the funniest thing ever. Anyway, I'm back today, and the people want education, so I'm going to give it to you. Today I'm going to talk about secrets, and more specifically, mostly Masonic secrets of the dollar bill. And there is just this is just full of hidden occult symbolism, and there are tons of different directions this can really go, and unfortunately there's so much to it. I'm going to have to make a lot of different videos just to support each subtopic, because there is so much involved here. It's just crazy, especially when it comes to, well, and make sure you stick around because I'm saving the best for last. So when I get to that part, there's a lot of stuff that ties in with things that you see every day and you have no clue what's really going on. And this is done by design. So please like, share, and subscribe. Please get this information out. So I hope you enjoy. So first of all, today we're talking about the dollar bill, and there are a ton of hidden symbols on here, and there are actually, anytime you're dealing with the occult, there's always multiple layers of levels of interpretation a lot of times when it comes to things. One thing that I'm going to mention before we get into this: anybody knows anything about masonry or knows anything about witchcraft knows there's a significant number. They have sacred numbers like 13, 33, stuff like that. And as a matter of fact, there is a council of 13, council of 33. But for express purposes, just keep that in the back of your mind, as it's going to appear as we go through this, because it ties in heavily with the occult. Like, say for example, when it comes to witchcraft covens, there's always 13 numbers. So that's just one thing to bear in mind as we go through this. I'm going to start with the back of the dollar bill, and this is actually not popular information, but Ben Franklin actually had his hands in the designs of the seals when the dollar bill was being drawn up. In actuality, also, a lot of people don't know that Ben Franklin was in fact a Satanist and occultist, and one of the seals that he proposed got rejected because it had a dual-headed phoenix with a top knot, and that's all kinds of occult. Again, that's a whole different story for another day. That goes back to old Egyptian worship and stuff like that, and that's what Masonry is. That you can find Masonry at roots well back to Babylonia and the mystery religions in ancient Egypt and all that. It's had its presence everywhere there. Okay, so first of all, let me see what I got pulled up for us. The one thing I want to make, God, this is so, there's so much to this. Where do I accept? First of all, we got to talk about the conspiracy, because anytime you talk about the Illuminati, there's always the topic of the NWO, the New World Order. And the New World Order, you can go on YouTube right now and find every last president, especially past Reagan. So starting with George Bush Sr., he come out on, you'll never guess what day, September 11th, 1991. Exactly 10 years to the day before 9/11 happened. He got on nationwide TV and said, we now have an opportunity to forge for us and future generations a new world order. And they've been talking about it ever since. So if you don't know what the New World Order is, I highly recommend that you look into it and do some research, because it has absolutely everything to do with the world around you, and for express purposes, a lot of what's going on with this information that we're about to decode on the back of the dollar bill. So first and foremost, like I said, there's a huge part of the conspiracy in this, but one of the things I want to mention first, if you look over here at the bottom left hand corner you will see the seal with the pyramid and the all-seeing eye. Well, we're in the United States, so it's really funny that you would just have an Egyptian pyramid out in the middle of the desert as some kind of a representation for our country. That just, if I didn't know anything, that by itself would be extremely odd to me. Okay, but let's forget that for a moment. If you notice what it has written around it, it says Annuit Chaptus Novus Order Seclorum, and what that means, roughly translated, is give or take, that is Latin for our crown success, or this day begins. Then the Novus Order Seclorum, which means the new order of the ages, or the new order of the secular. So that basically means this is the New World Order. Okay, so what is the New World Order? If you look at the pyramid here, you got the all-seeing eye, and this is, unfortunately, this has got to be a topic for another day, because there are so many representations and interpretations of what this all-seeing eye, this is also known as the Witchwood eye, or the Eye of Horus, or the all-seeing eye of Lucifer, Satan, whatever you want to call it. There's tons of different interpretations for it. But one day, if I ever get the nerve, I'm probably going to put the video out there breaking down exactly what it is on the deepest levels of occult understanding. So we got the all-seeing eye, which very occult, and then if you notice right below it, you got, yes, you guessed it, 13 ranks of pyramid stacking below the all-seeing eye. And again, that's very popular in Masonry, witchcraft, and Satanism, of course, with the Council of 13. And okay, right there, if I mean, you can go punch this into Google, whatever you want to do, but there's, if you notice at the bottom, Roman numerals, if you add that up in Roman numerals, that adds up to 1776. Well, a lot of people say, well, yeah, that's when the country was founded, and this and that and the third. No, it is not. That is absolutely false. It is true that in the year of 1776, we had our Declaration of Independence. I had a brain fart for a minute, but yes, we did sign on July 4th, 1776, the Declaration of Independence. However, we had no Articles of Confederation, no Bill of Rights. We were not established as a country yet. That has nothing to do with America. What happened is on May 1st, which is a high satanic holiday called Beltane, Adam Weishaupt gathered with a bunch of gentlemen, and they established the Illuminati Ordnung in Bavaria, Germany. And also another topic for another time. That is a direct ancestor to the Skull and Bones fraternity, which some of you, I'm sure, have heard about. Okay, so that's actually what happened. Is so they're saying that they started. That they established that this is now, the time is here, we will be moving forward with our New World Order in 1776. Although as history would have it, and I'll be going over this more in detail in the history of the Illuminati at some point, but in 1775, here we have 1776, there was what they were making a worldwide conspiracy, and this is history. This is not me being a conspiracy theorist. This is documented history. Basically, Adam Weishaupt had one of his carriers galloping through the night across these countries to deliver these plans, basically, and these plans entailed, basically, they planned on taking over the crown heads of France and Europe and all that, and this is actually what happened as a result of the French Revolution. This was pure the work of Illuminism and Masonry. In fact, where we get our Statue of Liberty today, that was a Masonic gift from the French Masons to the Masons here in America. But during the French Revolution, they enthroned a half-naked prostitute, and they put a crown on her head and a torch in her hand and named her the Goddess of Reason. This is where we get our Statue of Liberty from. So yeah, that whole thing's plumb packed full of occultism. But anyways, to get back on point, as this carrier was galloping through the night on his horse through the desert, you know, boom, struck with a bolt of lightning. You can say he was illuminated. But yeah, basically, in authorities, they found him. They recovered the documents, and that was encoded. But they were able to crack the coding, and they were able to find out what they were up to. And at that point, that's where they were basically run underground. They were not exterminated or made extinct or anything. They were just simply banned. But that was not going to stop them, because they had a lot of plans that they wanted to move forward with. So that's basically a brief history there. But that's what happened in 1776, is when the Illuminati Ordinance with Adam Weishaupt was formed. So that's the Roman numerals down there. And now we're gonna jump over. Oh, we're gonna make another side note while we're actually on this seal. Let me find it. Okay, right here. Boom. All right. So if you actually look at it, you have a perfectly formed 6-point star that encases the all-seeing eye and the letters M-A-S-O-N, spelling Mason. That is very, very cleverly and conveniently crafted into that. But that is by no means a coincidence. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to go over here to the other seal, and this guy over here, he has absolutely no shortage of his own little secrets. Here is we got 33 feathers on the right wing, representing the 33 degrees of Freemasonry. That's the Scottish Rite. In Masonry, you got a couple paths you can walk. Most Masons will never reach past the 3rd degree. It's more of a social networking thing for them, and it helps them overall in the outer layers of the onion, so to speak. But most Masons will never get past the 3rd degree, which is the Master Mason. You have the Entered Apprentice, the Fellow Craft, and the Master Mason for the 1st degrees. If you are selected and choose to go on beyond that point, you have 2 different paths immediately. You have the Scottish Rite of Masonry, and you have the York Rite of Masonry. So in the Scottish Rite, it goes basically degrees all the way up to 32, and then you above that is the 33rd degree, and that's the we know, like the how do you say, the pristine level of Masonry. Like we know a lot of our presidents was 33rd degree Masons, like Eisenhower and so forth. A lot of high level actors, businessmen. That's like you basically get to that through a profound level of dedication to the craft, or you contribute a lot of money to the fraternity, so to speak. Okay, so just a little bit of information there. And there's also 9 degrees in New York Rite, which is more Masonry is so anti-Christian, it's unbelievable. But if there was such a thing, you would probably be able to pass the York Rite as the Christian brand of Masonry. That's where most of the stronger Christian, because of the way it's structured and the beliefs in there. But otherwise, yes, you have those 2 branches. You have the 32 degrees York Scottish Rite, and the 9 degrees York Rite. So keeping that in mind, you got 33 feathers for the 33rd degrees. You got 32 feathers on the left wing for the Scottish Rite. Over here you got 13 leaves on the olive branch. You have 13 arrows over here on the in the other claw here, which 13, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 feathers at the bottom of the bird, representing the 9 degrees of the York Rite Masonry. And pretty sure that's again 13 stripes on that little flag there he's got. And if that's not enough, you have 13 stars in this, what ultimately forms another 6-pointed star. There's 13 stars that make up a 6-pointed star here. So moving on, we're going to the front, and we have we got that little owl, just like I mentioned in the previous video about the owl of Minerva and the Bohemian Grove owl. Yeah, well, there our little friend is once again. He's hiding out, weaving spiders, web not here, or weave not here, something like that. Anyway, so yeah, well, you got to think, and that is not an accident. What in the world does that have to do with our country? Why would that be that finely tunedly hid on our money? What is the purpose? Why would they do that? Got to question these things. And a secret that a lot of people just simply don't know about is the direct relationships between the currency and the bank. And yes, I say currency because this is not money. This is mistaken for money. Money is something that is backed by something tangible. This is backed by the debt of the public, and therefore it's actually technically no more valuable than the paper it's printed on. But if you don't accept this as valuable as another country, the United States is more than happy to come on over and open up a can of democracy on you. So that's basically the only thing that legitimately gives the dollar bill value. But there's another little secret that not a whole lot of people are aware of. If you notice the number 7 over here, it's off to the side, and you see in that big circle the big letter G. That is the reference to what bank it was printed from, because there are seven different main banks for the Federal Reserve, and they print a different array of serial numbers per bank. So you have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you have banks A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So yeah, and then you notice if you got the G here, well, that goes directly down in front of the serial number here. You know, if you look at that hard enough, it might start to seem a little bit familiar. Like, where have I seen that before? Oh, a letter with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 digits behind it. Oh, I know. On the back of your Social Security card. Oh, does that look familiar? We have from Bank C over here, and we have our 8-digit serial number. But why would that be? Well, let me tell you, when the gold standard was canceled and the debt of the public was canceled, or given the new backing for the currency, they basically printed up our birth certificates and Social Security cards as collateral on the stock market, and that is on a whole another video for itself on why we have birth certificates and Social Security cards. But the important thing to note here, basically, when you are born, there are $2 million bonds created in your name and your Social Security number. And then this is represented to us as a loan from the Federal Reserve. And basically that serial number, basically somewhere circulating somewhere, whether it's sitting in somebody's bank account or it's sitting in a drug lord's dope house, there is $6 million worth of currency printed up under that number on the back of your Social Security card, because that's what you're responsible for. That's your body on the stock market. True story. So that's why you have, and somewhere like, if you see that number on the back of your Social Security card, you will see somewhere, I'm not saying I'm guaranteed you're actually going to encounter it, but there are $6 million worth of currency floating around with that same exact number that's on the back of your Social Security card. So again, that's just to cover some of the occult stuff and hidden things with the dollar bill, and things that you're not supposed to know about, we're not supposed to know about. Any questions, just leave them in the comments, and I will try to, if it requires a lot of an explanation, I'll make a video for it, but I'll try to answer your questions in any way humanly possible. I got a lot more videos coming explaining exactly how money works, because I am fairly certain you probably think you know how it works, but a vast majority of people don't. I'm also explaining how the federal debt actually works, because there's a general idea given to the public how it works, and it's really not how it actually works. So stick around, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be pumping out videos as soon as possible. Trying to get this content out there for consumption. If anything you want to know about in particular, please just leave it in the comments, and if I know about it, I'll be more than happy to give my insight into it. And if I don't, and it's something I'm sort of familiar with, I'll go and look into it for you and see what I can see. But thanks for listening. I'm always happy to have you, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye.